It's like I'm going through this hardship, I'm going through this loneliness. The phone isn't ringing, and even if the phone does ring, I don't want to talk to anyone. I'm really going through this alone and by myself for a reason, but the peace that I have, no one can give me and no one can take it away from me. I wasn't looking for isolation, but isolation found me. Right after I posted the Diary of an Ex Influencer part one and part two, my life drastically changed. I mean, I had plans to go in one direction, but the Most High stopped me in my tracks, slowed everything down for me, and sent me into the wilderness. And if you know anything about the wilderness, it is a place of total isolation, solitude, and loneliness where you learn to depend only on Him. During the time I tried to record, I tried to make fitness videos, I tried to find this new identity or to even show it. And it wasn't the time. It wasn't time for me to talk about it or to show it. I had to go through it. It was painful. It was a grueling process. I mean, I lost things. I even lost some relationships, or I had to end some relationships, but I found myself, and above all, I found the Most High. So I wanted to share with you guys my experience. If you are in your season right now, maybe you'll relate. It'll make you help you feel less lonely. Or if you are about to enter into that season, you'll know some things to expect. Before I begin, though, I do want to thank you guys for all the love and the support and the encouraging words that you left on my last videos. I know that it was like a year ago, which is crazy to say, but the positive feedback completely overwhelmed me and made me ugly cry. So thank you a million times over. And I'm not going to cry right now. Okay, collect yourself. The first thing that I had to experience was pruning and purification. Prune is to cut off or cut back parts for a better shape or more fruitful growth. Purify is to free from undesirable elements. Not only did I have to delete Instagram, I had to delete my old way of thinking, my negative thought patterns. The things I thought made up my personality were actually the characteristic traits of an unhealed person, a person who is dealing with some unresolved trauma, who hasn't taken the time out to heal. And so during that isolation, I'm not going anywhere, I'm not doing anything, I don't even have any money, I don't even have transportation. All I can do is think and think and think about things that I wanted to change. And if we're being honest, it's easy to see unfavorable things in other people. But when you are sitting in the presence of the Most High God, the creator of heaven and earth, He will show you things about yourself that are ugly. And that's just the reality of it. There was a time where I felt He was trying to talk to me, but He couldn't because I had too many voices going on. I had the voices in my head and then the voices that were around me. And it wasn't until you I got alone where I could hear like there's some stuff about you that you want to change, that you've been wanting to change for years, but perhaps He can't even get you alone to change you. This world will give you so many things to pay attention to and to be focused on, and He's like, I want to change you, I want to heal you, I want to restore you, but I need some time alone with you first. And that time could be a couple months, it could be a couple years. I know for me, it felt like forever. I'm like, when am I ever going to get out of this? Is this just going to be my life? I had to learn how to stop complaining, how to stop murmuring, how to endure. It's like stop trying to rush to get out of something. Like you need this time. You need this time of isolation. Aren't you tired of living life the way that you've been living? Okay, so slow down, pull back, spend some time in quiet and solitude so that you can heal and so that you can receive, so that I can prepare you. And that leads us to the next thing, preparation, to make ready to put in a proper state of mind for a purpose. All the purifying and the pruning has to take place so that He can prepare you for His ultimate purpose in your life. Sometimes we go down the path we think that our life should go. We go for careers or jobs that we want, but maybe he didn't have that for you. It's about his purpose. Maybe his purpose for your life isn't to be on the big screen, you know? So there are things that you will only know when you are spending time with him, when you are learning to depend on him. You'll learn what your purpose is, and he'll prepare you for that purpose. I remember praying and asking to hear Yah's voice. I'm like, I want to know, I want to be able to hear you more clearly. But how did I expect that if I was always so busy, when I was always listening to someone else, whether it be people in my life or watching people online or listening to people online? I felt the Most High tell me, I can't talk to you because you're too distracted. You can't hear from me because you're too distracted. One night, it was like 3, 4 in the morning. And I just heard in my mind or my spirit not to say anything, just be quiet. And it was the first time that I heard silence. Nothing going on in my mind. There was no noise being made outside, no cars going by. Literally, there were crickets. Have you ever just sat in silence? Since you don't have anybody giving you advice, you don't know what's going on in the world, you don't care about celebrity news, all you want to do is hear nothing. And so every now and then, while I was in isolation, I would just get up 3, 4 in the morning and go sit downstairs in solitude. And that went on for a few weeks before I can really hear his voice. I had to learn what silence was first. And I didn't realize at the time that that healing was going to hurt. You can only get olive oil from olives if you crush them first. So there was a crushing that I had to experience. And if you are in that season right now, you totally get it. The tears are nonstop. You are confused as to why do you have to go through this? But if you want to change, if you've ever prayed that prayer that you want to be healed or you want to be restored, prepare for your whole foundation to be shattered. The things about you, who you were, who you are, get ready for the mirror to be held up so that you can see, okay, is this who you really want to be? Do you want to continue on like this? And if the answer is no, then you probably will have to hit rock bottom in order for a new structure to be built. And even though the the process is so painful, there is a peace that you experience. It's not a foot massage or a back massage or a facial. It is a peace that surpasses all understanding. It's like I'm going through this hardship, I'm going through this loneliness, the phone isn't ringing, and even if the phone does ring, I don't want to talk to anyone. I'm really going through this alone and by myself for a reason, but the peace that I have, no one can give me and no one can take it away from me. Unless you have experienced it, you just don't know. But if you don't have peace right now, please pray for it, because that's the only way that you can get through that season of loneliness, is if you have peace about it. Oh, I don't know if I gave the definition for peace. So peace is freedom from oppressive thoughts or emotions. I just want to encourage you while you're in this time alone. I know that it feels like it's never ending, and you may have been in isolation for a few months or even a few years, but just surrender to the pruning, the purification, the preparation, even the peace of mind that you're going to receive. It is all meant to help preserve you. Preserve is to keep safe from injury, harm, or destruction. Perhaps the path that you were on was a path of destruction. You were on the wrong side of the road and you didn't even realize it. This is temporary and you have to endure so that you can come out a new creature when it's all said and done. People won't understand your journey. They will take it personally. They may even fall off, but it's okay because the most high will will give you new people, people who are more aligned with the new purpose that he's going to give you. And so it's okay if you lose people who are extremely close to you. But if they don't make it through that process with you, then they probably were just not meant. And you have to accept that. The sooner you accept that, the better you will be off. You'll realize that this life is also not just about you. You have to go through the process of isolation so that you can help others go through the process. And you'll learn some things that will help them on their journey. And that's why I wanted to share this video today, because I knew that what I was going through was, if I share it, somebody will resonate and it will help them feel less lonely. The last one is prayer. During that time of isolation, that was the most I've ever prayed. All I had to do was pray and ask for guidance and direction. Okay, yeah, what do you want me to do today? What do you want me to focus on today? What do you want me to say or not say? It was constant prayer, asking for guidance and direction, because I had already surrendered. I stopped trying to fight the the crushing that had to take place. I just accepted that this was my life and this is what I have to go through in order to get through it. And so I want to completely depend on you, yeah. So I was praying. Prayer will always be the number one thing to get me through any season. Without it, you are walking dead. You're lost and you don't know where you're going. So I encourage you to pray every day. It should be a lifestyle. And when you come out of that isolation, you will then know how he speaks to you, because he talks to us in different ways. And that he the way he talks to me may be different from how he speaks to you. And so you'll never know until you actually go through it and you realize, okay, this is how the most high sends me messages, sends me warnings, talks to me. Learn the lessons that you're supposed to learn. And if you don't learn the lessons, you'll continue to remain in the season until you pass the test. We all have to go through it as chosen ones, as the elect. We have to go through separation for preparation, and you'll be okay. You have other people like me, or if you are in your isolation, please drop below and share with us how you're getting through it. Someone else may benefit from your shared experience. So if you made it to the end, thank you so much for listening. Pray for me that I'll be consistent on here and I'll show up. If it's Yah's will, I'll do it anyway. But I thank you so much for watching and listening, and I will see you in the next.